death, nobody knew who Erika Kirk was before, unless you were kind of vaguely associated with Turning Point. Yeah. And now everyone in the world has heard her name. Yeah. To say that she wants the truth on this, I think is hilarious, because we all know she doesn't, because the truth would expose who she really is. There's a lot that people don't know. There's a reason that they're working to keep it private, and it exposes a greater evil. I think that many are either afraid to call out publicly, or they're just unaware of. In both cases, enough is enough, and it's time to start shouting from the rooftops for my fellow Christians, because I don't want us all to suffer at the hands of these demons anymore. Yeah. It's kind of insane.
And then Mitchell also pointed out how Erika most likely has.
For more than 13 years, Mitchell Manley worked closely with Charlie Kirk as his trusted cameraman, giving him a front row seat to moments the public never saw. Now, Mitchell is speaking out about what he says he observed inside Charlie and Erika's relationship. His comments have quickly caught attention because they appear to support concerns some viewers had already raised about Erika's public behavior. Still, these are Mitchell's personal claims and interpretations, not confirmed facts. According to him, the private reality may have looked very different from the polished image presented to the public. He also questions whether everyone close to Charlie is equally determined to uncover every detail surrounding the tragic incident. As his account spreads online, people are once again examining old interviews, timelines, and public appearances with fresh eyes. Mitchell then introduced an even more dramatic theory, suggesting Erika may have powerful connections reaching into political or government circles. He offered no publicly verified proof of direct agency involvement, so the claim remains speculation and should be treated carefully. Even so, the idea has sparked intense discussion, because Turning Point is a major political organization with influential relationships across the country.
Connected to Brad Parscale, and
it's one big happy family, yeah. and they tell you who they are when they say things. They just use doublespeak. I think when Erika said it's one big Turning Point family, I think she's implying to the federal government connections that helped her become the CEO of the largest pro America anti-deep state group that is now propping up the establishment.
With Charlie no longer leading the organization, some observers believe the power structure around it deserves closer attention. Others argue that Erika's carefully controlled public image and measured appearances could simply reflect the pressure of handling a deeply personal crisis in front of millions. The facts remain limited, but the unanswered questions have kept the online debate moving at full speed. Erika is a widow who has faced harsh accusations and aggressive conspiracy theories, many of which have never been supported by reliable evidence. That should not be ignored. At the same time, viewers do not need to accept every extreme theory to understand why certain moments have raised questions. Her public reactions, connections, and role in Charlie's wider circle have all been picked apart online. Some critics believe her entrance into his world appeared unusually smooth, while others say that is simply how close political networks operate. There is no verified evidence that she was deliberately placed in Charlie's life, but the overlapping relationships have encouraged people to look more closely at how everyone first became connected. Erika already knew several people linked to TPUSA before her relationship with Charlie began.
I went to Turning Point's office opening for their first building, and Tyler he runs Turning Point Action now, and he said, "You need to meet the CEO." I said, "Okay, great." Met him very quickly, shook his hand, said, "Hi, nice to meet you." Neither of us thought anything of it. Looking back now, he apparently sat down with Tyler and said, Tyler said, "We need to hire her," and he goes, "Mm-hmm."
She had reportedly been friends with Tyler Bowyer for years, showing that she was familiar with members of that political circle well before becoming publicly associated with Charlie. Photos of Erika and Tyler have since been heavily discussed online, although a friendly picture alone does not prove anything suspicious. Their shared political interests may simply explain why they moved within the same social network. Tyler was also not the only person from that world connected to Erika. Reports have claimed that she previously dated Cabot Phillips in 2017, another figure associated with conservative media and political circles. Charlie already knew Cabot, meaning the three were not complete strangers operating in separate worlds. These overlapping friendships do not prove a hidden plan, but they do show that Erika's path into Charlie's circle may have started earlier than many people realized. By September 2017, Erika and Cabot were already spending time together, including moments on a basketball court and a painting date that same month. That detail has raised fresh questions about claims Erika later made regarding how little she supposedly knew about Charlie or the political circle around him. Her connections to Tyler Boyer and Cabot suggest she was already familiar with people in that world, even if the exact depth of those relationships remains unclear. What has never been fully explained is when Erika and Cabot officially ended their relationship. Without a confirmed timeline, online observers continue debating whether these chapters were completely separate or closer together than the public was originally led to believe. Erika has said that her first date with Charlie took place in 2018.
He was trying to date this girl that he was totally obsessed with. And this girl that he was chasing, it's kind of one of the worst kept secrets. It was like me and Don Jr. were trying to help him navigate this. And because I was always with Charlie, basically every time this other girl would text him, like I was texting her back. I basically had to become a lesbian for a year. As he just goes, like, what should I say back? I'm like, Charlie, at some point you're gonna have to text her yourself. Like everything, you'd screenshot, what should I say, blah, blah, blah. And like kind of, he always believed,
opinion,
if I work hard enough, I can like get this girl. That was his mentality. And he was just obsessed with her. Like reading back on those messages of this girl who then became one of my best friends and was in my
Since she was publicly linked to Cabot in September 2017, the gap between those relationships may have been fairly short, although the exact timing has not been independently confirmed. The story becomes even more interesting when Tyler Boyer enters the picture. Erika has openly said Tyler encouraged Charlie to give the date a chance, effectively acting as the matchmaker who helped bring them together. That detail shows just how connected this group already was. These relationships were not forming in completely separate spaces. They were developing inside a tight social and political circle where mutual friends played a major role. But there is another side to the story that rarely gets discussed. According to accounts shared later, Charlie was not immediately focused on Erika when the idea of a date first came up. That clashes with the more romantic version suggesting he instantly knew she was the one. At the time, Charlie was reportedly interested in someone else, and some people close to the situation claimed he agreed to the date partly because he hoped it might get another woman's attention. Whether that was truly his motivation cannot be fully verified, but it adds a very different angle to the carefully polished love story that was later presented to the public. The woman Charlie was reportedly pursuing at the time was Samantha Schwab. Samantha Schwab was finishing her final year of college when she met Charlie at Stanford University. According to Candace, Charlie became strongly interested in Samantha almost immediately and talked about her constantly. His feelings were apparently no secret among the people around him. Friends noticed how determined he was to get her attention, and Candace said both she and Don Jr. encouraged him as he tried to figure out what to do next. The situation was described as an open crush rather than some hidden relationship. Charlie's interest in Samantha appeared obvious to those close to him, making the timing of his first date with Erika even more surprising. Candace described being pulled directly into Charlie's pursuit of Samantha, helping him work out what to say whenever a new message appeared. According to her account, Charlie would often show her the conversations and ask for advice, leaving Candace to help shape replies and keep the exchange moving. At times, she felt as though she had become an unofficial relationship manager, trapped in the middle of a situation Charlie was too nervous to handle alone. The constant back and forth became exhausting, and eventually she told him, this can't go on forever. One day, you're going to have to step up and deal with this yourself. Her story paints Charlie as uncertain and heavily dependent on his friends during a romantic chase that seemed far more complicated than the polished version later shared publicly. Charlie reportedly saved screenshots of nearly every exchange, repeatedly asking, "What should I say next? How can I keep her interested?" He appeared convinced that persistence, careful messages, and enough effort might eventually win Samantha over. This was not a minor attraction that disappeared after a few days. It was a serious crush that became well known among those closest to him. Charlie's attention was clearly focused on Samantha during this period, which makes the timing of his introduction to Erika even more interesting. If his heart was still set on someone else, then his first date with Erika may not have begun as the instant romantic connection people later heard about. The strangest twist is that Samantha eventually became one of Candace's closest friends. She even stood beside Candace at her wedding, showing how dramatically these relationships changed over time. What began with Charlie nervously chasing Samantha and Candace helping him answer messages eventually turned into a lasting friendship between the two women. But this history also raises bigger questions about Charlie and Erika's early relationship. Was Erika truly his immediate choice, or did their romance develop only after another possibility failed to move forward? And how much influence did Tyler Bowyer and the wider social circle have in pushing Charlie toward Erika in the first place? None of these details automatically prove that Charlie and Erika's marriage was false or secretly arranged. Relationships often begin in messy and unexpected ways, and people can develop genuine feelings even when the first date starts without much excitement. Still, the earlier timeline is noticeably different from the neat love story later presented to audiences. Charlie reportedly had strong feelings for Samantha, relied on friends to help him pursue her, and may have agreed to meet Erika while still hoping to attract someone else's attention. That contrast is exactly why Mitchell Manley's broader comments have generated so much discussion. Mitchell's perspective matters to viewers because he was not simply watching from a distance. After working around Charlie for more than a decade, he would have seen private conversations, shifting relationships, and personal behavior that never appeared in public speeches or carefully edited interviews. His claims remain his own interpretation and should not be treated as proven evidence, but they have encouraged people to revisit old timelines with a more critical eye. Erika already knew important figures in Charlie's circle. Tyler reportedly helped arrange the date, and Charlie's attention may initially have been elsewhere. Put together, those details create a far more complicated beginning than many people previously understood. The biggest issue is not whether every online theory is true, because many claims remain unsupported. The real question is why the publicly shared version appears so simple when the background was clearly much more layered. Friendships overlapped, previous relationships ended on uncertain dates, and influential people inside the same network helped bring Charlie and Erika together. That does not confirm a hidden operation, but it does show that their meeting was not necessarily a random encounter between two complete strangers. The connections were already there, and the people around them may have played a bigger role than the public was originally told. What do you think about this timeline? Do Mitchell's comments and Candace's account change how you view Charlie and Erika's relationship, or does this simply sound like the complicated beginning of an ordinary romance? Share your thoughts in the comments, and remember to like, subscribe, and share this video with anyone following the story. Thanks for watching, and see you on the next one.